Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Greetings, celestial, majestic light keepers of the Earth Angelics 144. As we travel beyond all concepts, contradictions, and distractions, we enter fully into the presence of our infinite, multidimensional solar light bodies. All false overlays, inserts, and anomalies are being resolved through the power of our almighty I Am presence. Christ consciousness is pulsing through every living avatar of eternal light. This is the power of love flowing from the still center within through all channels and meridians for the final quantum leap of consciousness into the Homo Luminous we have always evolved to be. We are here now, for I am always here in this body of the cosmos. Wherever I am is the center, the middle of the universe that I rest within and upon. As we continue to journey through these unprecedented times, the Holy Spirit is with us to guide and show the way into a brighter day for all sentient beings of pure hearts. This is the divine feminine activation of the Magdalens, of the new Lemuria, of the Sisterhood of the Roses. The 7 roses of heaven on earth are blooming within the 7 chakras as wheels of Dharma, the truth. As I sit within the still center, 0 point, all things revolve around this middle, which is everywhere. This is it. We are the ones the world has been waiting for. As free spirits, with our divine eyes fully open, we look into the depths of eternity and stand with courage as we hold the light and the vision of peace, prosperity, bliss, and abundance for all. In the end and the beginning, love always wins, for only love is real, and only fear dies. This is the death of the old and the resurrection of the new earth, fully awake and fully aware. The unconscious becomes the super cosmic consciousness, and all comes into perfect alignment and harmony of the spheres. With the ears to hear, we listen to the heavenly choir of our angelic ones singing the songs of celebration, with victory to the light. Aho! 818 coming in, the one in the middle of the Lion's Gate, the Lyran nation of New Lemuria coming in. Welcome, beloved beings of light. I am Paul, White Gold Eagle from PrimeDisclosure.com. We have many powerful transmissions for you today from our sacred New Earth scribe, so be sure to stick around to the very end, and please do us a favor, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below on what you're feeling and experiencing in these unprecedented times, and please share this video with your teams and tribes all over this realm. And now with these intense, powerful energies coming in, we had many earth changes and activations all over this realm. We have major flooding southwest of France, thousands evacuated, and also thousands displaced in South America and Brazil after more flooding and landslides. Mama Earth continues to purge and cleanse for this great ascension process. Our prayers, love, and blessings go out to all of our people that are suffering due to these great earth changes. We had many powerful activations all over this realm. Again today, 129 M1.5 or greater earthquakes. Most powerful today in the crown of Lemuria, Andreanof Islands, Aleutian Islands of Alaska. And this was at 5:47 UTC. This was followed by a powerful activation also on the Ring of Fire, Kagoshima, Japan 4.7, Central America, Guatemala, home of our Mayan elders 4.1, Indonesia 4.8, another activation Guatemala 4.2, Poland, and the Sacred Portal 4.3, San Antonio de los Cobres, Argentina, South America, just south of the Tropic of Capricorn, we had a 4.3. Then off the coast of Oregon, 3.2. The Sacred Portal, Afghanistan, where the 3 holy mountains merge together. Tian Shan in the north, Celestial Mountain, Kunlun in the middle, land of the immortals, and Himalayan mountains in the south merge together in this powerful portal with a 4.2 activation, very deep, 217 kilometers depth. Atacama, Chile, South America 50, East Timor 46, Kamandorskia, Ostrova 4.2, Russia, Costa Rica, Central America 4.6, Indonesia 4.4, British Virgin Islands, New Atlantis Energy, Divine Masculine 3.9, 37 kilometer depth 37 into 73, Heaven on Earth. Atacama, Chile, another activation 4.1, Akutan, Alaska 3.7, another 37, Mirror of the 73, Heaven upon Earth. Indonesia 4.5, Council of 9 coming in. Again today, the whole grid totally lit up, activated, the ring of fire totally fired up as we rise in this ascension process together. 555 coming in, fifth dimensional energy. Also synchronic with the 5-5, massive volcanic eruption in Tonga on the ring of fire explodes to 55,000 feet, synchronizing with the 5-5 code, fifth dimensional portal. And now we continue with the Sabian symbols. Right now, the moon is at 12 degrees Gemini. The sun is at 23 degrees, 57 minutes Capricorn. The current Sabian symbol for the sun at 24 degrees Capricorn. A woman entering a convent. Sorry to hear that. The current Sabian symbol for the moon at 13 degrees Gemini. World famous pianist giving a concert performance. Bach and Beethoven return from astrologyweekly.com. And now my sacred Condor pulls a card for you today from the Oracle deck Moonology from Yasmin Boland. And the card she pulled for you today, very synchronic, full moon in Cancer, synchronizing with the coming full moon in Cancer on the 17th. No coincidences here. A personal issue reaches resolution. Things are likely to get very heated as the full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign, so there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals or dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests that both that a domestic matter or a private issue will soon come to a head, and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is the time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. Attuned to the moon, it may be the best to move towards what you want in a sideways manner. Additional meanings for this card: meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be clingy. Stop sulking. Have you had enough family time lately? The teaching: the heightened emotions of the moon-Cancer combination can't be ignored. However, Cancer is one of the moon's 2 home signs, along with Taurus. So astrologically speaking, the moon loves to be in this sign. In fact, she rules Cancer. This means with this card, there's a sense that all is as it should be, or don't worry, all will soon be well. Can I get an amen with that? And now from Divine Sister of the Light, Lama Tsoltrim Alcyone. Happy Guru Rinpoche Day, everybody. When conceptual thinking occurs while resting in meditation, whatever arises does so out of your own mind. Since mind does not consist of any concrete essence whatsoever, thinking is in itself empty of any real entity, like the analogy of a cloud that appears within space and vanishes again into space. Thinking occurs within the mind and dissolves again into mind. In nature, conceptual thinking is the innate dharmata. From Guru Rinpoche, the book Advice from the Lotus Born. And from Divine Sister of the Light, our sacred beloved sister Victoria Lillianquist, January 13, 2022, 3 a.m. Early this morning I had a vivid vision, so real and beautiful. I literally saw the second Earth flying low above the land like a huge ship but it was a giant Earth. I was filming it, then it disappeared for a few minutes, then returned. There were many people with me celebrating, very real. I know in my heart the old 3D is and will be leaving. All that I have been shown since 1997, visions, dreams, transmissions, has been continuously showing me our new reality. It is real and unfolding, in spite of the crazy 3D illusion. I know many of us who are awake are ready for our new life and our new beginning. Many may not be ready. It is easy to be impatient, but that energy is a 3D characteristic, so strive to refrain from the doubt and impatience. Keep your hearts high. We shall stay steady and continue in our I Am presence with love, patience, hope, and our cell memory that does remember the divine plan and our victory, holding you all in my prayers and positive visualization. With infinite love, Victoria, from victoriaslight.com. And from Divine Brothel of the Light, Shanti Nilaya. It is time to get rid of everything that is not eternal, everything that does not stand in front of the truth of love. The signs for heaven and earth will become palpable and tangible wherever you look. Forget all the waiting and all the hope, because in fact everything is consumed, and there is no longer the slightest distance between you and the truth. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Ramona Lappin, M-class solar flare in progress, plus full collapse of the artificial holographic matrix overlays and false projections, mirrors. Get ready for realities to shatter. Let go and jump high. Don't hold on to the old. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Candace White Light, Schumann Resonance Update, 1/12/2022, 11:44 p.m. MST. This is an event to remember. This is a true time link portal. I have not seen one for a while, but it is a real indicator of the frequency being charged up for the main event. It rose right after to 8.22 Hertz, and the lack of reporting on the other graph says that the time this was active escaped detection by the instruments for just a moment, actually 4 hours. So this is an event horizon as well. This again is the rare incident that always is exciting, and critical frequencies are on their way up above 9,000 kilohertz decibels units, and that, my friends, is a primal scream, or release of energy that then builds again. The pulse of the universe that is gamma ray, and very interesting timing. Like a clearing for a moment of clarity that something was being made way for. That pulse of profoundly clearing energy that can affect your brain like gamma brainwave state. Genius waves where everything suddenly makes sense, the Ascension. So here we are looking at the graphs on the day, one of the events leading to the flip. We talk about it all the time. For good or bad, just take a deep breath and eat chocolate and anything that comes into your mind. Remember the past, but be ready to move into the new earth paradigm, where you don't need the past anymore. You create the future. Go there. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Amanda Lawrence, incoming energies are off the charts all day and amplifying. At 1800 hours UK time, there will come a point in the future when many unawakened so far will feel them too. And from Divine Brothel of the Light, Pars Kute, we are in the process right now of becoming more and more of who we came here to be. Our thinking processes and our feeling processes. We are coming to know and understand that we are so much more than we have been programmed to believe all this life and lifetimes prior to this. We are coming into our own more and more now. Those things which in the past, even several years ago, we would not have understood, would not even have brought that into our vocabulary. Things such as vibration and consciousness, now it becomes an everyday expression for us. The idea of believing is seeing, rather than seeing is believing. See, the more that we can trust that we are in the right place at the right time, that we are in the perfect now moment, every single moment. Yes, we keep hearing that from our light families. Be in the now, be in the now. That is so important, because that is fifth dimensional expression. In the fifth dimension, there is no past, there is no future that we have to be concerned about. It is always in the now. We find ourselves in that perfect present moment, And when we do that, and when we realize that this is the perfect moment, and the next moment is also a perfect moment, and the next moment after that, there is no room then for anything other than perfection. There is no room for anything other than love and compassion and oneness and truth and light. Yes, it is true that there are still many throughout the planet that are in the unawakened stage. They are still as yet asleep. But they are waking up rapidly now because all of us, the system busters, the ones that came here to change everything, to bring change to this world, we are the ones that are doing this. Yes, with the guidance of our ascended host, the angelic host, the galactic host, and the Agarthian hosts of Hollow Earth, together as one in freedom, freedom of choice, freedom to be who we are, and nothing and no one can take that from us unless we give it to them. But we all know the truth, and the truth indeed is, not will, but is setting us free. It is up to all of us to hear that guidance, to follow that guidance, whatever it might be, to continue about our mission, and our mission as a whole, as a group together, is adding to the mission of all the other groups across the planet, all of the other individuals that have come forth to bring about this great awakening. It is us. With divine love of one, Pars Kute, and from divine sister of the light, Lisa Renee, time skip. The Ascension cycle is the end of a 3D combined timeline, and the planet is moving into a higher frequency of future time, a future dimensional octave. This skips the planetary consciousness field, therefore human beings and their consciousness into future time fields and higher dimensional frequencies. Geomagnetic jerk. In geophysics, a geomagnetic jerk, or secular geomagnetic variation impulse, is a relatively sudden change in the second derivative of Earth's magnetic field with respect to time. The current strong geomagnetic storms resulting from recent solar activity have deep repercussions at the quantum level, which greatly impact and shift the state of electromagnetism upon our planet. The increase in the solar wind interacts with the Earth's magnetic field, and the transfer of accelerated energy is placed into the magnetosphere. The magnetosphere is an important part of the global planetary brain and is the inherent architecture that creates the many complex identities of the collective human mind. Its functions are directly responsible for what humans experience as a collective race identity, along with an individual 3D conscious mind or ego self. As these various input factors accelerate change from the pressure these quantum forces place upon the planetary core, the physics governing those forces start to change on the planetary surface. The geophysics governing these forces in this dimension are shifting, and as such have a great impact on the state of electromagnetic activity. Electromagnetism is the interaction responsible for practically all the phenomena encountered in our daily life. Electromagnetism manifests as both electrical fields and magnetic fields. Both fields are simply different aspects of electromagnetism, and hence are fundamentally related. Thus, a changing electrical field generates a magnetic field, and conversely, a changing magnetic field generates an electric field. The Earth's core, through which its direct rotating current generates the magnetic field that we detect at the surface, does not keep pace with the outer surface crust. Geophysicists acknowledge that the magnetic field has a mainly dipole structure that changes over time and moves in a significant westward drift, or about 1 meter per hour. The magnetic dipoles are defined as the surface points in the northern and southern hemispheres where the Earth's magnetic field is vertical. The magnetic poles move over time because the Earth core magnetic field has fluxes and changes. With these recent changes in the Earth core, there are abrupt shifts happening in the surface geomagnetic field, and this rapidly shifts the magnetic dipoles. Rapid variation impulses sourcing from the Earth core to suddenly change the surface field is known as geomagnetic jerk. These sudden changes to the surface magnetic field and their various speeds and strengths can be locational or global. This means certain areas of the Earth have more radical shifts in the surface magnetic field than others. Geophysicists reported that the Earth's magnetic field jerked in 1969 and acknowledge something significant happened to the Earth core that radically changed the location of the North Magnetic Dipole. There is a connection between geomagnetic jerks and the speed and movement of the North Magnetic Dipole. This is relative to the known phenomena of the poles shifting at the end of this cycle, which they indeed have been doing gradually all along, however not with the catastrophic effect predicted by some. We are entering the timeline where the Earth core is rapidly shifting the planetary magnetic field through the various levels of strength, speed, and flux of geomagnetic storms and their larger events, geomagnetic jerks. This is happening potentially in the field as a series of electron-proton fluxes that generate geomagnetic jerks in the next months. Massive geomagnetic change also means massive change to the global brain, and therefore the individual human mind relationship to that brain. Who we think we are in our thought forms, what we believe we are part of, is largely defined by the manipulated magnetic structure of the global brain. When the global brain changes our thoughts radically, we have a choice. Do we adapt or do we fall apart? Magnetic changes at these levels will create and or destroy at the same time. Magnetic changes at this level will also radically shift time and space as we know it. Our relationship to time, timelines, will be moved forward, as a skipping forward through time. This timeline we enter in the next 90 days is a massive change to our sense of identity, our life experience, what defines us, and everything we have ever known. Magnetic shifting. Currently, the radical shift in the magnetic field and Earth core resonance is impacting our physical coordinate location in time and space. Our bodies are skipping forward through time rapidly, attempting to keep up with the geomagnetic shifting that is occurring in the planetary body. This has been observed as many people being jerked out of alignment with their physical bodies, and noticing the energy layers and the core spiritual bodies are not centered properly on their vertical channel. When people are misaligned and not fully grounded in their inner core and physical bodies, accidents, injuries, and near-death experiences are much more common. The changing geomagnetism is also impacting the dark matter field and the interplay between the natural subtle forces which change the way energy transduces into matter as it moves from the unmanifest level into the manifest form. From energeticsynthesis.com and from Divine Sistar of the Light, Aluna Joy Yashkin. The fourth pulse began on January 11th, 2022, and will proceed to January 14th, 2022, which is tomorrow. These are the days of 3 Bane, 4 Ish, 5 Main, and 6 Kib. This fourth phase will now activate our solar plexus from the descending energies of the great central sun. It will also activate our throat chakra through the elevating energies from the core of the earth. These 4 days will begin with an activation called the Pillars of Light. It is where the Earth's energy will begin to knit together with the energy from the great central sun. This phase will also be embedded with shamanic-like wisdom that is timeless. We will have access to higher forms of natural forces from the cosmos, and we will be able to anchor it into a more usable form on Earth. But this is also where the real work will really start to kick in. Complex human relationships could feel unwieldy as we soar with broader vision and clarity about our service in the world. We will gain new boundaries that rise to a higher standard. This could either strengthen or destroy relationships. This will trigger a more honest self-confidence, assisting us with being more trusting and also more comfortable with authority figures without giving up personal power. It's all about sovereignty, merging with the innate interdependence of humanity. We are the one within the whole. From alunajoy.com. And from Divine Brothor of the Light, Francois Sarrazin. The Cosmic Christ, the solar logo is in the presence. It reveals itself in these times through a multitude of manifestations and diverse phenomena. Every conscience is invited to follow the solar path and thus to reconnect with the fire of the Spirit. The solar way or Christian principle is the one who realized the sun in it in the center of the chest. There is a body of radiation, an inner sun, which is the point of radiance of the source in this world. Activating the center then allows our energy source to manifest itself. It is the place where we radiate what we are in truth. It is in the solar heart that shines the light of the Spirit. The Spirit is a fire that blends with our matter. Here's the spiritualist, the glory, the sanctification. The principle of fire is then manifested at the heart, chest, cell level. The vibration of love is fire. This fire is the marker which authenticates true light, original light. The divine presence, the solar Christ, or heavenly fire, really penetrates into us through the door of the heart. The Spirit then takes life in us. What has affected the living of the heart of eternity, the living of the galactic wedding, the return to the united worlds, allowing us to find freedom in who we are as a whole. The Spirit reveals itself in the warmth of our being, in the revelation of our essence of fire. He is the essence of our sacred essence. And from Divine Brother of the Light, Philippe Francois, 2022, year 6, the earth is shaking strongly. At a moment, the vibration of the inner sun of Gaia, the crystal clear core, becomes a tremor. During the first 11 days of January, there have been 11 major earthquakes in energy release, higher than a magnitude 6, 1111 gateway. These earthquakes are all over the world, on different continents, the widespread earthquake of the earth as well as our bodies. Carbon is in progress and will translate the alchemical transmutation of life. It's a shift in frequencies that translates the transition to another dimension. The process of ascension has begun at the atomic level of this planet. There are several markers, for example, the sounds in the airs that amplify, translating a change in frequencies, and therefore there is adaptation to those who live in subtle structures on Gaia. On a physiological level, the new etheric body, linked to the fusion of the ethers, will become more and more perceptible in the form of tremors, heat, tingling, and thrilling of the entire physical body. There's a set of movements, tremors, and vibrations whose theater is in our inner temple, similar to Gaia. These tremors can affect the whole human body as well as the global body. It is through these shaking mechanisms that the final resonance of ascension will be created. The transition from one frequency range to another frequency range. The adjustment of this body, like that of Gaia, are transformed by these tremors. Energy and vibrational mechanisms will tend to be replaced by tremors and or pressure. The shivering, the tremors, which is like a wave, like Gaia's seismic wave, takes birth at the cell level of the physical body, and is therefore not linked to anything outside of this body. There are many powerful modifications and manifestations that are felt and perceived and are independent of any external cause. There are adjustments to the metamorphosis that actually translate the superposition between the old world and the new world. It's like the feeling of freezing cold, or you can't warm yourself up, or the experience of fresh air around us. This is the vibration of light. And from Divine Sister of the Light, Karen Lithica, Cosmic Heart Awakening, we continue to express the great light achievement and connection to all beings of your world, to understand your role in the amplification of light, to see the great light metamorphosis underway, dear one, as each cell collectively assimilates and aligns to a new light path. Know it is a natural progression now as the unfoldment continues. To see your role in reaching us is simply aligning the complex light matrix within your light field to meet our light field. As you advance, your light field will continue to appear before you like a library of light. You will gain access to new light levels of awareness and tools to reach the complexities of you, your personal light maze, to enter the energetic field, to discover, clear, love, and reach us, the crystalline light framework, universal love, to see the cascading light before you as we assist and guide, reassure and align all that we feel into this message. The complexities of your world is simply an energetic layer you reside in, a layer of your multidimensional world. As the light evolution continues, sending waves of cosmic love, the Arcturians and Karen from KarenLithica.com. And from Divine Sister of the Light, Carolyn 144 God Code. The masculine is attaining soul mastery and being a loving, compassionate, and trustworthy support system for the feminine to complete her healing. He is lovingly communicating to her that the choice needs to be made to be more faithful, positive, and future-thinking to help in your ascension. There may be some past experiences that you haven't let go of yet. You could be hard on yourself, feeling humiliated for past choices, or hanging on to what people did to you. This Cancer full moon is helping you come to revelations and acceptance. Now is the opportunity to let this all go so the new can enter. You may be feeling extra vulnerable and insecure due to this all coming to the light. Know that this is a blessing. Do not deny the truth to protect the ego, as the truth is setting you free of all limitations. You are getting stronger and more secure through releasing these old stories. Be gentle on yourself and seek solitude if needed to let your body process all the changes. Being at home, relaxing, and getting the energy aligned will serve you best. Here your masculine and feminine can continue reconnecting back home into one. In Jesus Christos' name, Amen. God bless you from Carolyn Kundalini Twin Flames. And from Divine Sister of the Light, Leah Whitehorse. Lunar aspects, Sun in Capricorn, square Eris and Aries. The moon enters Gemini, switching our focus to matters around mind and communication. Right on the back of this ingress, the moon will make the last conjunction to the North Node before the node moves into Taurus next week. This is the final moment to absorb the spiritual lessons of the last 18 months. Maybe there has been a repeated message, a recurring thought or dream that now needs conscious integration. Consider, what is my intuition telling me about the way forward? Take care not to make mountains out of molehills. Keep looking for the healing path. Use affirmations or emotional freedom technique, tapping, to rewire your thinking and clear your emotional channels. Know your weak points and vulnerabilities. There is no failure, only ongoing study. Once again, Eris presses us to acknowledge problems. Redefining and reframing does not mean ignoring obstacles, blocks, or fears. Sometimes the shift hits the fan and we need to know how to support ourselves, face the mess, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and when we do, Eris smiles, because she knows she sparked our fire, gave us a powerful lesson in courage, taught us how to sustain momentum until the dust settles. Any deconstruction now is an opportunity to explore the strength of your foundations and breathe life into stagnant places. From LeahWhitehorse.com. And from 13 Moon Peace Time, today our galactic signature is Keen 135, Blue Overtone Eagle. Resonant Monkey Moon of Attunement, Day 4. Welcome to the Resonant Monkey Moon. This is the 7th moon of the planetary service wave spell, holding the power of resonant attunement. We live in a world of driverless robo-cars guided by radar and lasers, drones, nanotechnology, and smartphones. Most people's time is usurped in work environments or living situations that do not resonate with their core essence, where they are a pawn of the machine and a slave to money. As the new beam intensifies, it becomes increasingly uncomfortable, or maybe even intolerable, to stay in these situations. Most suffering comes from forgetting the ultimate reality and our connection to Source, which is where our true power resides. A key factor blocking our connection to Source is unresolved emotions. With this moon, you are invited to prioritize your feelings and increase your meditation. Keep a journal to check in with your feelings throughout the day. Work on replacing negative emotions with positive ones. Practice making decisions based on how you feel, not based on a perceived way of how things should be. Go in the direction of what feels good, what gives you energy. We are here to solve ourselves and to regain full memory of our purpose on this planet. The time codes assist as memory triggers and a means to raise our frequency. The higher we raise our frequency, the more our supernatural powers return. This is our birthright. We are the key. We are the keyhole. We are time itself. In the pulsar geometry, the 7th tone is the hinge of the 2nd dimensional sense pulsar, bringing the qualities of resonance and attunement to our unique channel. Noah's letter number 58, lawoftime.org. Key 14.4.144. Telepathy is a system of instantly perceived frequencies and ratios structuring subliminal and superconscious modes of perception. 260 keys to Synchronotron. Cosmic History quote for Moon 7, Day 4. What is hidden or non-manifest exists in a world beyond human perceptions, which we know as the imaginal world. From 13moonpeacetime.com, 909 flowing in 9th dimensional energy. And today from the Tzolk'in Times, Keen 135, Blue Overtone Eagle. Overtone is the name for the number 5, and its keywords are empower, radiance, and command. The 5th day of any wave spell is quite powerful, but the 5th day of the monkey wave spell is more intense. Much can be achieved today if you have the gumption. Be empowered or overpowered is the message here. Today is Blue Eagle, and it represents creativity, mind, and vision. The eagle helps us see the bigger picture, which is very helpful currently due to monkey messing with our heads. Fly high today above the mayhem, and you'll be empowered by what you see. Creativity, too, will be empowering today, and so indulge in whatever gets your creative juices flowing. And from Divine Sistar of the Light, Christina Papagiorgio, Blue Overtone Eagle, 5 Main, Keen 135, 13th of January 2022, Empowering Big Visions. 13-1-2022 equal 4-1-24 equal 4-1-6 equal 4-7 equal 11 equal 2. Day codes 13, Cosmic Goddess, Natural Lore. 4, Form, Structure, Foundation, Earth. 11, Portal, Gate, Twins, Polarity. 1, New Beginnings, Leader, Original. 2, Twins, Cooperation, Partners. Month Year codes 1, New Beginnings, Original, Leader. 6, Heaven, Christ, Family, Romance, Fertility. 7, Magic, Mystic, Spiritual, Solitude, Initiation. 2, Partner, Twin, Cooperation. 20, The Awakening, Clear Vision. 22, Architect of Peace, Master Builder. Keen 135 equal 9, Destiny Endings. Another divinely encoded spiritual day imbued with clarity, radiance, and success codes. Day 5 in the Blue Monkey wave spell of magic, joy, bliss, play, merriment, spontaneity, and a return to innocence. Today we are using monkey magic to empower our greatest dreams of personal and collective abundance. Tone of creation, overtone, tone 5 in the spiritual realm, action commands, power empowers, essence radiance. Number 5 represents the center, core purpose, foundation, and central intent. It is the center of the wheel from which all the spokes emanate. This is the phase where the energy of creation returns to the center and then radiates outwards. Overtones command the unbounded. They order it to be, and so it becomes. Their power radiates from their soul essence through a pure connection to Source. This is the true source of unlimited power. Day 5 is the command day, where we command our dreams into being, radiating them out to the universe so they can manifest on day 10, Planetary Tone Day. If you have not written your bucket list or completed your vision board, hop to it and command to Spirit exactly what it is you want to manifest. Be bold and be clear. Command your abundance and success. Today's question is, what dreams can I empower today in order to unleash and co-create the collective dream of planetary abundance? Divine blessings for commanding your great dreams into reality. In la ketch a la Keen, Christina White Magnetic World Bridger, Keen 66. Keen 135, Blue Overtone Eagle. The mantra, the code for today is, I empower in order to create. Commanding mind, I seal the output of vision. With the overtone tone of radiance, I am guided by the power of abundance. And on this powerful day, beloved beings of light, let us know in the comments below what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, your dreams, your visions, and your synchronicities. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click the subscribe button below and the little bell to get notifications on future updates. And as always, we have a link in the description below to the transcriptions of today's transmissions, and we archive these on our website, primedisclosure.com. Now I'd like to take the time to thank everyone supporting us in our work and mission. It's because of your monthly pledges on Patreon and donations we're able to continue this work. So if you'd like to help us continue bringing our work to the world and our transmissions, you can make a monthly pledge on our link at whitegoldeagle.com. And to our tribe on Patreon, be sure to check out our training today. Very powerful Taoist practice on astral travel, astral projection, called traveling hands or spirit hands. This comes from the lineage of Kunlun, directly from Mao Shan Mountain, one of the most powerful portals in the East, in China. I'd like to thank Divine Sister of the Light, Sheila Sempek, for another donation. Thank you very much, Divine Sister of the Light. We appreciate you and your continued support. We appreciate all of you that continue to support our work and mission. If you'd like to make a one-time donation, you could do so to our PayPal link at eaglelovecondor.com. Now I'd like to also thank everyone supporting my Sacred Condors artwork on Etsy. You can purchase your beautiful handmade goddess totems, zodiac goddesses, and other works of art at lunagoddessart.com. Now we're going to complete today's transmissions with powerful guided visualization to Alcyone from Divine Sister of the Light, Raylene Brady. There is a reunification that has not occurred to this degree since 5000 BC. Alcyone is our central mother sun and is where our Akashic records are held, pertaining to lifetimes on the Earth star. This 3D planetary fast-tracking has occurred en masse due to the choosing of many to integrate duality through density. You are all commended. Take this window of opportunity to journey to Alcyone through intent. Enter the great star library. Seek out the corridor of time within time that leads you to our Earth star records therein. Call forth your true self. Clasp your hands together in integration mudra. Ask aloud now that your true self has divine union with divine source, and divine source has union with your true self throughout all time, dimensions, and space. Ask that your true self in union with true Earth does what is required with the information that flows to you through your Earth star records held on Alcyone, Akashic Library for Earth. Remain the observer in the field as key information is shared with you from your starry overself. See this light up in sacred geometric patterns, dissolving dissonance. When you are complete, ask your true self to fully integrate and return to the 3D while holding 5D bridging with your full spectrum dimensional overlaying and full resonance with your starry overself. When you are ready, traverse back through conscious intent. However, be sure that you do so by returning through the originator gate you first entered while traveling to the Earth star during your most current stellar mission. Intend that your solar umbilical cord be reinstated through the central mother sun of Alcyone. As you re-enter, ask that all the original organic timelines pertaining to true Earth and true self be integrated, and that all false umbilical cords and synthetic timelines integrate through true self-dissolution and resolution. Take note which place on the planetary sphere you first acupunctured the Earth star with your encodements and starry quintessence when you first alchemized your Earth stellar elemental makeup. It only takes one step further to anchor and alchemize for the whole of humanity and all living beings on the planet. Get into the swing of anchoring stellar intel through to the inner Earth rather than stopping at a surface level. Feel the rhythmic pulse of the galactic Gaian heart gateway rise up through your body, through your shambolic frequency codices. Allow your stellar quintessence to rise up through your Earth star chakra, your soul star chakra, and the stellar gateway chakra. 5D frequency is in free flow now. Ask through conscious free will intent that this pulsation is stabilized as your relative foundation in establishing 5D deep heart principles, dissolving dualistic density, returning full resonance with cosmic conception. And with that, thank you for joining us today, beloved beings of light, 919 flowing in 9th dimensional energy. Be sure to connect with your star nations that guard and protect Alcyone, and take this journey now today if it resonates with you. Only take what is in resonance with your heart center and leave everything else behind. 441 coming in, the 441, the mirror of the 144. 99 portal, 9th dimensional energy. Keep walking gently your sacred path with heart, with peace and love in every step. Keep shining your light brightly into the night, and be sure to make this the best day ever. The eagle and the condor love you all. Namaste.